question ever entered your mind, when I jump in the air, why don't I just fly? And if you ever dare ask the question aloud, you'll hear, don't be silly, what goes up must come down. Do we fall towards the earth because that's where we belong? Or has there been something else going on all along? What's really there holding down the big bluey seeds and making apples fall down from their trees? Well, one day a young lad found a nice shady spot where he could spend his whole day lost in deep thought. So he buried himself among the flowers and sticks. That fateful year was 1666. The tree under which this young man dwelled, many an apple its many boughs held, and when one of those apples fell down with a thump, the young man looked up, bewildered and stumped. He puzzled and flummoxed with the apple at his feet, until his thoughts were fully complete. Eureka, he yelled, his eyes wide and brainful, for he'd just discovered gravitational pull. While the apple tree story may not be so true, the tale of the young lad was not to trick you, for he was once real, alive, and quite bright. Newton was his name, a legend in his own right. Because he can answer that question you questioned, when "that's just the way it is" was the only suggestion of why the earth pulls you back down when you leap, and Newton soon gave us other answers we seek. This whole earthy, pull-downy gravity notion was before Newton conjured his laws of motion, a short set of rules about how forces are joined, not one, not two, but three whole laws Newton coined. The first was inertia, how things move to and fro. Says an object won't budge till it's budged, just so, and then once it's budged, it keeps going and going until a backwards budge stops it. Yes, this law is worth knowing. The second law plainly and comprehensibly states that the push to make an object accelerate depends on whether that object is heavy or light, whether the push should be hard or the push should be slight. The third, the last, but not least by a fraction, for everything that happens there must be a reaction. This reaction has the same force, but in an opposite way. This third rule is most famous, some people say. Now, to many a question you have many an answer. You could say Newton was a scientific advancer, from gravitational pull to the three laws of motion. Can you now see the cause for commotion? But still the commotion gets greater and broad. Quite some time later, these laws were found to be flawed. But how can that be? That can't be quite right, but alas, it is, though it's quite out of our sight. 'Cause when things get really big or they get really small, Newtonian physics doesn't work, not at all. But that's a story for another day, because when it comes to here and now, Newton's laws point the way.